Hi guys, welcome back to Life with Sarai. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do colored acrylic using Saviland Chalk Kit. So let's get into it. First of all, I'm going to be using this Saviland Chalk Kit, and then I'm going to be using this new simple drill that I bought just so I won't mess up my actual drill. I'm going to be using Mia Secret white acrylic. I'm going to be using this Mia Secret clear acrylic, and I'm going to be using these little containers that I bought at Dollar Tree. I do advise you to buy a separate nail gel specifically for doing this because you don't want all this chalk and all this powder to get into your nail gel that you use on clients or on yourself and mess up. So first I'm going to go ahead and open my Saviland Chalk Kit. Here are all the colors, and today I'm going to be matching my nail colors. So first I'm going to start off with this burnt orange color and this peachy color. Later on I'm going to go ahead and add a baby pink just because it is too orange and I tried to add a pinker tone in there. It didn't really work out too well for me this time. I'm going to start by adding just a little bit of that chalk into my container and then adding about 6 to 8 scoops of the clear acrylic. And I do this so I'm able to go ahead and break down the chalk color. Before, when I used to do this, I would just dump the whole container of clear acrylic, and I would notice that there would be pieces and chunks of the chalk when I would go in with my monomer and spread it onto the nail. It just didn't look right and it looked really funky. I have seen other videos of where they suggest to use a third of the container just for the chalk and then 2/3 for the acrylic. I don't suggest that just because you will lose the integrity of the acrylic powder and what it was intended for. I would suggest just using little bits of amounts so that it won't mess up the compound of the acrylic. After I add those few scoops of clear acrylic, I'm going to add the rest of it full of acrylic and a scoop of white acrylic. And the reasoning for the white acrylic is just to make it just a little bit more opaque than it is on the clear side, but it's not too overpowering to where it's super white. Another thing I would suggest is that instead of using the mandrel bit like I am right here, I would suggest using the metal heads that come with these pieces, because I did notice in the first 3 acrylic powders that I did in this video, there are little chunks and pieces of the mandrel bit in my acrylic. On the last acrylic that I made, I used metal head and there were no chunk and pieces. It did take me a little bit more effort to grind down the chalk with the acrylic powder, but it was well worth it because there were no chunks in my acrylic. So here I'm going to be swatching, and you see how it's a little bit too orange compared to my nail color. So I'm going to be adding a little bit more brown. I'm hoping that would have toned down the orangey, but instead I actually added more orange to there. So remember to just follow your color chart and to see what cancels out other colors, because that plays a big role when you're mixing up colors for your acrylic. Now I'm going to be using these dots and I'm going to add it to the top of my container. This is so I can swatch the color on the top of my container so I know what color I'm using, because sometimes I'll put labels on these and name them, but I'll forget to put a swatch on top, so I don't know what color I'm actually using. And here is the acrylic swatched again. It's a little bit more on the orangey side than I would like it to, but I'll go ahead and do a pinky tone next. So with this acrylic, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm going to be using the light pink chalk instead of the peach, and I'm also going to be using that same burnt orange color, and I'm just going to sand that down just a little bit, adding my few scoops of clear acrylic, mixing that in. Filling the rest of the container with clear acrylic, adding a small scoop of white acrylic just to make it a little bit more opaque. And then I'm going to be adding a little bit more of that chalk color here and there. I'm going to be adding a little bit more of that burnt orange color just to intensify the color. And here you can see where I'm swatching it, it's a little bit light pink. So I'm adding more of that burnt orange just to make it a little bit more intensified. You can do whatever colors you want, however you like them. Of course, remember to keep in mind the color wheel. Here I am swatching it again. I'm comparing it to the other color. And here I am adding another one of those stickers on top and adding my swatch on top. And as you can tell, it's a little bit more pinker than the other orangey. Here I'm going to be doing a lavender purple, so I'm going to be starting with my light purple from the chalk kit. And I'm going to be adding a few scoops of my clear acrylic. I'm going to file that down to make sure everything is smooth, filling up the rest of the container with clear acrylic and adding a few more scoops of white acrylic than I would the first two acrylics that I made, just to make sure that it's a little more on the lighter side, like a lilac purple. Here's a swatch of this lavender color. And here I am swatching it on top of the container. I'm going to move on to this periwinkle color. Here you can see that I used my metal head. It takes a while for me to break down the chalk and the acrylic together more than the other colors, but it's so worth it because I don't have little grainy bumps in my acrylic. I'm going to be adding the rest of the clear in there and a few more scoops of white acrylic. Again, just to make it more opaque and to make it more lighter than the other colors. And I'm sorry if there's noises in the background. My child is making a lot of noise. And I don't have any other free time to do this. And I'm sorry guys for the harsh transitions. I'm trying to get used to this editor and it's really hard for me. But please comment down below more ideas that you may have for me to do for these videos, and comment on how I can improve and what other things you would like to see from my videos. and I will be sure to work on those. Here's a swatch of the periwinkle color. I just love this color. And here I am swatching it on top of my container. Here I'm going to go ahead and swatch them for you on top of a towel, and then I will be swatching them on swatch sticks. Here I'm swatching the first color that I made. It's kind of more on the orangey side. Next, I'm going to be swatching the second color I made. It's more on the pinky side compared to the first one. I'm going to be swatching the lilac lavender color. And I used too much monomer on my brush, and I kept the brush too long in the powder, so that's why you see me drop that little bead on the table. Here's the periwinkle color. Here are all the acrylics swatched on the containers and on swatch sticks. I hope you like this video. Go ahead and comment down below for more ideas for me to do. Like this video, subscribe, please share this video with somebody. Thank you for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Love y'all, bye.